Hi everybody! Welcome back to the pet room. It's me back here with the piggies today. As you can see, the piggies are eating their din-dins. I had to give them their dinner like an hour earlier because they were all sleeping and nobody wanted to come out for the video, so I bribed them a little bit with that so you can finally get to see them. So, today I'm going to be doing a video request. Now this video was requested a while ago by two different people. The first person that requested it was ILOVEANIMALS 1603, so definitely go check out their channel. And the second person that requested it was As for Angela. Definitely go check out her channel as well. I'll put the links in the comment box below so you can go check them out. So thanks for requesting this video, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and show you my hay rack that I made for my piggies, and try to give you a little bit of information on how I made it so you can try it out if you're interested. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so now we're at the bottom cage. You can see Mr. Nimbus eating his din-dins as well. Right, Nimbus? Huh? Is that yummy? And Aries is over here. Hi Aries! You're eating your din-dins! You're eating your din-dins! Is that yummy? Yes. Okay, so I guess I can go ahead and talk about the hay rack now. So here's my hay rack that I have for my piggies. As you can see, it is definitely a homemade one. The reason I decided to make my own hay rack is because the ones that they have available at the pet stores are just very small, and my piggies, especially these two guys, chow down a lot of hay, so I definitely like to have plenty available and make sure that it doesn't run out, since I'm at work all day and I just can't be here refilling it all the time, obviously. And I also like to have plenty of hay for them because sometimes there's just pieces that they don't like because they're too hard or they're just a bit brown, they don't like it, so I definitely like that they have plenty to choose from. Right? Oh, look at that cute face. Alright, so let's go ahead now and get started on the hay rack, and we will come back to the piggies later. Here's a hay rack that I use for my piggies. As you can see, in comparison to the size of the cage, it is pretty huge. However, I still have to stay on top of it and keep on refilling it every day because these guys down a lot of hay. So I definitely like making sure that they have plenty of it during the day while I'm at work. So I just go ahead and refill it every day. It's due a refill in a bit after they're done with their dinners. So as you can see, it's made of materials that I had left over from when I made my C&C cages. The first is C&C Grid, which is this thing right here, which I bent into a semicircle, so it holds the hay and they can pull it from there. It also is made from coroplast, as you can see. The top and the back of it are just all coroplast, so it holds the hay and it doesn't spill everywhere, and also to give it some extra support. And the third thing that I used to make it was cable ties. I used cable ties to tie both the C&C cage grids to the hay rack, and also to tie the grid that holds the hay to the coroplast here, so it doesn't like separate and hay comes out everywhere. So I'll just go ahead and show you a little bit about how I made it now. Alright, so here I just have a piece of scrap coroplast that I had in my laundry room, and I also have a C&C grid to show you how I made it. However, I'm not going to make one right now since I don't need another hay rack, and once you bend this C&C grid like that for the hay rack, then you can't get it back to the original position, so there's nothing else you can really use it for besides a hay rack. So let's go ahead and get started so I can show you how I made it. Alright, so the first thing that you have to do is bend the C&C grid into a perfect semicircle. Now this is the hardest part because if you don't apply the pressure evenly over the C&C grid to bend it, then it can break. It can break in the corners right here, or these can just snap off, so you have to be extremely careful and apply the pressure evenly. So what I did was I used my knees, kind of like I am doing now. So I just put my knees over, I would say, about almost a half of the C&C grid, and then I just start pulling it like this evenly with both hands. The pressure has to be even. I just kept on pulling it in my direction. Now I'm not going to show you that, but that's just pretty much what I did. Again, you have to be extremely careful, because if you don't do it evenly, then it'll break and the C&C grid will be useless. Alright, so I hope that you can see this. So the next part would be to trace the C&C grid that you're going to use as the hay rack. Trace the outline of it. Now I was trying to do this in pencil, however it was not showing up on camera, so I just like traced it around with a green marker, and I'm sorry about that smudge here. That's a really bad smudge. So what you do is put the C&C grid and just trace around it. One over here, and you get these. This is the final outline, by the way. And then you have to trace the top and the bottom. So once you're done tracing the sides, you just flip it like this and trace around here to get the bottom, and then just go ahead and flip it the other way and trace around here to trace the top. And you should end with a shape that looks like this. Next, what you should do is trace a line from side to side over here so that you know where the folds are gonna go when you try to set this as the bottom and the top of the hay rack, so that you know how to bend it. So just go ahead and place your C&C grid, and in the corners just trace a line from one side to the other, and you should end with something like this. And then in the top, the same thing. Just in the at the top and the edges of this, just trace a line from side to side. And that's the final shape that you should get before you're ready to cut. Alright, so now before you start cutting this outline that you've made of the coroplast, I would recommend that you make the holes that you're going to make to attach the coroplast to the hay rack with a cable tie. So I would recommend just putting one right over here, another over here in this top corner, another one down here, another one in this top corner, and another one down here in the bottom, so you can tie this bottom when you fold it to this part over here of the hay rack. Alright, so I've just made an outline of the holes where they would go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the bottom. And now you can just go ahead and cut out this shape, the outline. Go ahead and cut around here, all around, and then you're ready to put together the hay rack. Alright, so once you've cut this piece of coroplast out along this outline, which I didn't do obviously because I do not need another hay rack, then what you're going to have to do is score over these lines that you made. That is from this side to this side over the line, and from this side to this side over the line that you traced. Scoring is basically where you take a box cutter or a scissor and you make a very shallow incision over this line, over the coroplast, and then you keep on like sliding it in this direction until you cut it, and over here as well. However, you cannot let the scissors or the knife go all the way through the coroplast. If it comes down the bottom, then it's ruined and you won't be able to use it. If you don't know what scoring is, I recommend you look it up online, because it's really hard to explain in a video when you're not actually doing it. And if you are a child, please ask your parents for help, because you wouldn't want to go using scissors or knives and cutting yourself. The scoring is what is going to allow you to bend the top and the bottom so that you can set it as the bottom and top of the hay rack. Alright, and now you're getting to the end since you have the coroplast cut already and you've scored this area up here and down here and you've made the holes over here for the cable ties. All that's left to do is use the cable ties to tie the coroplast to the hay racks. So just go ahead and stick a cable tie through the hole here, tie it to the grid, and then pull it out the back again and tie it, and do the same for all the other sides. And on the bottom as well, you just take a cable tie, put it through here, you fold this flap over in this direction and tie it over here to the bottom of the C&C grid, and you have a hay rack. And this is what that hay rack should look like. As you can see, let me go ahead and zoom in. I used, let's see if this shows up. This is the coroplast and this is the hay grid. So I used the cable ties to tie it around. See? And I did the same for the bottom, but you can't really see down there because it just has a lot of hay. And then in the back, to tie it to the actual C&C cage so the piggies can't move it, what I did was I punctured 2 holes in the back, 1, 2, and on this side here, 1, 2, and I just stuck a cable tie through it and just wrapped it around and the piggies can't move it. So yeah, as you can see, the hay rack is pretty big because it holds all the hay that the piggies need. It's inexpensive to make because you can just use spare items that you had lying around from when you made C&C cage. So if you're not happy with pet store hay racks or just don't have any ideas of how to make a hay rack that you like, then I would suggest you definitely try this since it's pretty easy to make and doesn't take much time. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. This is very hard to explain on camera, even harder than I thought when you're not actually doing it. So I can definitely understand if there was something that you didn't get. So if you have any questions, please let me know and I'll help you in the best way I can. I guess I can give you a closer overview of the hay rack with the piggies in action. There you go. So yeah, thanks to those of you that requested this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and also make video requests and I will add them to my list. Thanks for watching. Bye. Aries. Hello. You want to say bye? No. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. Yes. And here's just the other hay rack on the other cage with another pig in action. So I'll just go ahead and say bye from Barbach. Oh, beautiful piggy. Say bye. He's too busy eating hay. And a bye from Shinobi, who's in here. Bye, Shin-Shins. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.